International reactions have also started pouring in, condemning the serial blasts in Mumbai. While UK calls it deplorable, the US President Barack Obama termed it outrageous. Meanwhile, the US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has also reiterated that she will not be cancelling her visit to India.
US President Barack Obama, US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and several US lawmakers have strongly condemned the attacks in Mumbai. US officials have reached out to the Indian government to express condolence and offer support. Secretary Clinton also underlined that her plans to travel to India next week remain unchanged. She will be visiting India for the next round of Indo-US strategic dialogue. Clinton said it was more important than ever for the United States to stand by India to reaffirm American commitment to the shared struggle against terrorism. Given the attacks, discussions on counter-terrorism are likely to become even more important in the next week's dialogue. In New York, Natasha Strani for Times Now.
We condemn these despicable acts of violence designed to provoke fear and division. Those who perpetrated them must know they cannot succeed. The Indian people have suffered from acts of terrorism before, and we have seen them respond with courage and resilience. Our hearts are with the victims and their families, and we have reached out to the Indian government to express our condolence and offer support. I will be traveling to India next week as planned. I believe it is more important than ever that we stand with India.
The Indian government will no doubt begin an investigation of this incident, and we'll wait for their results. And as I said, we stand ready to cooperate with them.
Outrageous, deplorable. These are some of the adjectives being used by the Obama administration to strongly and quickly condemn the terrorist attacks on Mumbai. U.S. President Barack Obama is saying he will stand with the people of India. His Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is offering any help the Indian government might need with its investigation. She's also saying that her planned trip to India is on. She is not canceling it. Now, there are folks here in Washington who feel these attacks were designed to provoke fear and terrorism, but they're also saying that no one should be jumping to any conclusions about who the perpetrators were, in part because the terrorism picture in India has gotten more complicated in recent years. That said, there's also an interesting coincidence. General Pasha, the head of Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence Agency, he's in town for talks with top U.S. officials, in part because the U.S. cut off some of its aid to Pakistan in recent days. Now, overall, the U.S. administration here is condemning these attacks. They're calling them outrageous and deplorable, but they're also hoping that cooler heads will prevail in the region. Priscilla Huff, Times Now, Washington.
It's too early to say exactly who's involved. It was clearly an act of terrorism. But of course, people will be looking very closely for any connection to the Lashkar-e-Taiba, which was responsible for the 2008 attacks. What's interesting is India had just arrested 2 members of the Indian Mujahideen yesterday. These are local terrorists. However, what analysts have seen is that there is likely some connection between the Indian Mujahideen and the leadership of the Lashkar-e-Taiba in Pakistan.